Yeah, good day to all of you. As we understand, we are not able to get in touch with Mr. Alfred Francis. I think, there is some emergency, where he is not able to join in. So we can do two things, we can stop the meeting here and or we have several people from Tanzania. Perhaps, if any one of them wish to share, we can possibly, keep the forum open, get their views, and then, perhaps, at a later date, we can, look forward to having an interaction with Mr. Alfred Francis. I really apologize for that, but I'm sure there is something really an emergency which should have dropped in, because we were in touch with Mr. Alfred even half an hour ago as well. So I keep the floor open now. Anyone from, there are so many friends from Tanzania who have joined in. You can please raise your hand, and then, I'll ask Varun, my colleague, give the mic to you. Perhaps you can share an update on what's happening there. A little bit of news from Cashew information. As we understand, the enrollment of buyers have started, and there is all likelihood that Tanzania auction might start from the third week of October. That's what we hear at this point in time. Venkat, do you have anything more to add on that? Sure, no problem. If there are anyone else, who have got some comments, some information about Tanzania, please do join us. The floor is open. Yes, you can raise your hands, and you can share your views. One more piece of information which I got from Mr. Kalbavi Prakash Rao yesterday was that the Honorable President of the Republic of Tanzania would be the state guest in India between 9th and 10th of October. And that would be a great opportunity to host the Honorable President of the Republic of Tanzania in India, and interact with him. I feel that's a great opportunity. Anyone wish to comment or wish to share some information on the ground level situation in Tanzania at this point in time? We have several people here. In case you wanted to share some information for the benefit of those who are gathered here, please raise your hands. We will let this mic on. Yeah. Anyone from the cooperatives, anyone from the NGOs, anyone from the private sector who have come from Tanzania and were part of this gathering? Or any of our Indian friends who would like to share some of their issues, concerns, maybe from the last year?
Hello all. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Marichellan, please go ahead.
Yes, I was in Tanzania recently for Pigeon Peas. We are being told that the export camp might happen only from Matwara this year.
Conference Tanzania Cashew conference.
We were told that the exports of RCN might happen only from Matwara port this year. If anyone from Tanzania can elaborate on it, is it confirmed yet, or is it still open? Is one of the points I would like to raise.
Okay. We will keep a note of your points in case, and we will definitely seek the clarification from the Director General itself later today, and keep you posted, sir. In case anybody in the audience here would like to share some thoughts on this topic, you're free to give your opinion.
And the second point is there is already a huge shortage of boxes and space on vessels out of Dar es Salaam. So that's one point which would be of concern to everybody who's thinking of exporting. So the equipment availability and space availability is already a question.
Mhm.
So if CBT can interact with the liners and tell them to be prepared, repo some containers from nearby ports, that would be of great support during the season.
Very good suggestion. Very good suggestion, Mr. Marichelvan, because that would ease up pressure on the ports and also ensure speedy delivery. Thank you so much.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, we will seek clarity on your first question, whether exports are going to be permitted only out of Matwara, and what are the kinds of initiatives which the government is taking, so that more vessels call and then there is no port congestion. Thank you. Any other questions around Tanzania 2023 cashew season and the crop? Yes, as one more piece of information, again from cashew information, what we had put yesterday, based on what has arrived into Vietnam so far this year, and also what is processed and shipped out as kernels during 2023 till August end. Uh, we tend to believe that the stock situation in Vietnam is quite comfortable. Uh, my colleague Venkat puts that number around 800,000 at this point in time without taking the opening stock. So they're very comfortable on the stocking. That's the current situation. India, anybody would like to talk about the current situation today in India in terms of what is the crop available for processing? Yes, there is a question on what the size of the crop. That's $1 million question, and I think we should hear about that from the authority, which is the Cashew Nut Board of Tanzania. I am sure, we are all very eager to know about the crop size and the quality of the crop in Tanzania. But I think government source is the more bankable source. So we would wait for Mr. Alfred to share details on the crop size as well as the quality. So that it could probably avoid some kind of speculation or so I will keep a note of that question. It's a very important question, but I think it's better the Director General takes that question and answers that question. As we understand, Mr. Alfred is in a village and he's trying to join the call, but unfortunately his network is very slow. That's so unfortunate. That is the status at this point in time. We are extremely sorry for inconvenience, but sometimes government officials have to go to the spot, and on call of duty Mr. Alfred has to go to the place which is having remote access to internet, and so but in case there is any more questions, please share your questions. It would be very useful, and we promise within 2 days we will share the feedback after getting in touch with Mr. Alfred, and we'll try our best to put another webinar if possible, and if it is okay with all of you. Yeah, prior to this, I was asking about the stock situation in India. Is there any guesstimates on that? Is there any kind of opinion on that? Any other aspect, any other observation from those who have visited Tanzania, or those who are in Tanzania? Please free to share your opinion.
Sir, we have one more question of the chat box. Sir, you are on mute.
Uh, you have seen this news on the newspaper, or like, is it there is a decree already to this effect? Mr. Marichilvan, can you please talk?
Yeah, this is a published news in the Citizen paper in Tanzania.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Last week I was there in Africa Cashew Alliance annual conference. Pretty much like, all African countries have intention to go for processing of raw cashews to kernels. And going by what has already happened, and what are the policies which seem to be working, there are like, each country based on their own like, priorities or selecting a set of policies. There are a range of policy tools, like, we have seen Ivory Coast giving export subsidy for kernels. And most of the countries have like, a kind of export tax on raw cashews. So Benin has announced a total ban in 2024. So there are various policies, and various like, governments are like, coordinating and shaping up the policy. What I can see, like, is that it is going to be a reality that each of the African producers would process, and that is in their best interest. How much would they process? Whether that will be 100% or whether that is going to be partial, and what are the going to be the incentives for like, kernels vis-a-vis raw nuts. These are like, very specific, and it varies from case to case. As I understand, Ghana looks at currently itself as like, a trade center. They are focusing on increasing their raw cashew production to 500,000 and being a trade center at this point in time before having a policy of promoting cashew processing. Africa, there's Tanzania, as I understand, is around like, 200 to 250,000 to 300,000 production.